Hi guys, welcome to day 2 of our online intensive class. So today we're going to be looking at how to draft the half scale bodice. So what is the bodice? The bodice is any garment that is fitted from the shoulder to the natural waist. It consists of the shoulder, the neckline, the armhole, the bust, the underbust, and natural waist measurement. So what are the parameters that we'll be needing? We will need from nape to armhole, from nape to bust point, from nape to underbust, from nape to waist. And also we'll also need the circumference around the bust point, that is our bust. We'll need the circumference around the waist as well. But the circumference around the underbust is not compulsory, or is not important. We will not be using it. So let's get started. We're going to be using this measurement. We're going to need our pattern master. We'll need the tape rule. You'll need your paper tape, and of course you'll need your pencil and your eraser. But I will be using my marker so that it can be very clear for you to see. So I will start by drawing my border lines. And then here, let me spread out my pattern master. I already cut it to the size that we want. I'm spreading it out. Or let me just spread it out. So I'll show you see what I'm doing. So this is it. Put my measurements. Before I put my measurements, I'll just draw my border lines using my pattern master. So I'm drawing my border lines. So this is going to be my start point. It's going to be my start point. So I'll input my measurements. Just watch what I'm doing. So for my armhole, I'm using 11.5. Using 11.5 for my armhole. For my bust point, I'm using 12. For my under bust, I'm using 15. And for the waist, I'm using 17. So just extend the lines like so. Extend the lines using my pattern master. Watch what I'm doing. You can see I'm going deep into the line before marking a new one. I go deep into the existing line and then I mark a new one so that I'm sure I'm getting a straight line. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I want to ensure I get a straight line. So, come again. That's for the armhole. Then I want to do for the bust points. So I'm going to for the under bust now. Under bust. Under bust. And then last but not the least is my waist. My waist measurements. It's my natural waist measurements. Okay, so that is done. Next thing I'll do is that I would fold my paper into two and then make sure tallies, make sure the front and the back, that's the lines. I want to make sure the lines of the front tallies with the lines at the back, and then I do like this, you know, just make sure I'm getting my center line. So as you can see what I'm doing. So the next thing is that I want to mark my bust span. The bust span I'm using is 8, so I'll do 8 divided by 2. I get 4, then I put 4. Just 4, I'm not adding ½ inch to it. Bust point is 8, I'm not adding ½ inch to it. So I rule down to my waist. So having done that, I will then pick up my measurements as in my tape rule, and I take 0.5 is 0.5. That is ½ inch to the right, ½ inch to the left, ½ inch to the right, ½ inch to the left, and then I join my points to the bust point. Okay, I can label. It's always important for us to label. Let me do a quick recap. This is my starting line. This is my starting point, my start point. My start point. And this is, here I have my armhole, AH, that's my armhole. And then I have my under bust, UB. Sorry, my bust, B. And then I have my under bust, UB. Then I have my waist. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I have my waist. So the next thing I'll do right now, like I've done here, you see, that's from the start point for the armhole. It's I used let me see. I used 11.5. For a slim person, you can use 9. Maybe bust 32, between bust 32 and 32 and below, you use 9. That's someone that's really slim. And then from maybe 33, 34, 36, you can use 10. And then maybe bust 40, 42, you could use, you know, probably you can walk around 10.5, 11, you know. So depending on the person's bust, because the armhole has a lot to do with the bust and the bust measurement and the arm width. The arm width is what we popularly call the bicep. So depending on the person's arm's width, that's the bicep or the bust, these are the things that determine the armhole depth, that is from the start point to the armhole. And of course, after the armhole we have the bust, and then we have the under bust and the waist. Remember, I've already explained how we get our waist length. That is always better you measure. If you can't measure the person, then you walk around. There's a size chart that I actually use for this. There's a size chart that I actually use for this. So let me know if probably you might also need it to guide you into knowing the exact measurement to use when you're drafting. So remember, I took I took half inch to my left, half inch to my right. So I'm going to join it to my bust, not my armhole. This is armhole. I'm joining it to my bust, like so. Just watch what I'm doing. So I just join it this way. Start with this. So for this other one that is near the this is the fold point. This I will also join to this one, and then I will extend it. I will not just leave it here. I'm going to extend it to the start point. This start point here, I will extend this point to the start point because it's going to guide me into drafting my shoulder darts. I will need it to guide me in drafting my shoulder darts. So that is it. So now the next step I will now do now is to get my shoulder dart. I want to draft the shoulder dart. So to draft the shoulder dart, it depends on how much I want my bust accentuated. So I'm going to walk around 3 to 5. Now this 3 to 5 also determines the bust of the person. Now walking between 3 to 5, like what I'm drafting here, I'm using bust 44. Now I can decide to use 4, but someone who is just around maybe bust 35, 36, can play around 3 inches. Someone with bust probably 40, 42, like that, can play around probably 4. And then 5 is for someone that is really, really on the big side, maybe bust 50, you can use 5. But for bust 44, I will use 4.5. I can use 4 or I use 4.5. But let me use 4. I will use 4 for bust 44. So these are things that you can actually play around depending on how much you want the bust to, the shape to really come out. That's what determines it. So right here, I'm going to just take 4. I'll just take 4. So I'm sure you understand my explanation. I hope you understand my explanation. So I'll just take 4 inches. I'll just take 4 inches. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to join this point to the bust point. I'm going to join this point to the bust point, like so. So once that is done, I'm going to start to fold, and I'll need my paper tape. Just watch, I'll need my paper tape. Okay, so I'll come this way. I'll start from here, and then I begin to fold. I want to this line, I want to fold it to meet at this point. I want it to meet at this point, so I fold like this, and then I let it meet. So I'm holding it down with my paper tape. So you can see the bust is already accentuated, even it's not even done much. Can you see? So that is it. So once I've done this, I'm going to extend. You can see that this line now is no longer, does not tally with the, remember this was our starting line at first. Now we have another line, so I'm going to extend this line. So this line, I no longer need it. I no longer need this line, so I will extend this line. I will extend this line, extend it this way. Can you see? So once that is done, I'll take my tape measure. I'll take my tape measure and I'll do 3/8, the popular 3/8. So at point 8, I'll come down by 1.5. I'll come down by 1.5. This is 1.5. Then I'll join this point to this point. Just watch. Very simple approach. I'll just that like that. Can you see what I've done? And so once this is done, I will then insert, let me insert my measurement, my body measurements. I'm using 44 for the bust, but I'm going to put my measurement on the armhole. That's where I'm going to put my measurement. So I'm using bust 44. Can you see what I'm doing? Bust 44. So bust 44 divided by 4. That's 11. Plus 1, that is 12. So I'm going to put 12 here. I'm going to use 12 here. And then for the waist, I'm using 38. 38 divided by 4, I have 9.5 plus 2. I have what? 11.5. So I'll be putting 11.5 at this point. I'll be putting 11.5 at this point. That's the waistline. 11.5, and then I have 12 here. I have 12 here. I have 11.5. So just watch. So I'm going to take my measurements. Just come down like that. 12. Here's my 12, and then I come to the waist. Like I said earlier, I don't need my under bust. I don't need the circumference of my under bust. So I come this way and I mark my 11.5. Can you see? So using my pattern master, I flip it upside down and I will use this place. I will use here, turning it upside down. I'm using the inner curve. There's a video on how to use the pattern master on our YouTube channel. Go check it out. Go check it out. So that is the shape, the side shape. Now the next thing I'm going to do is that I will now determine what I'm using for my neck width. So for instance, I might decide to use, say, let me use say 4 for my neck width. Now there's something I really want you to understand. You see, in this method of drafting, after taking my, okay, I've decided to use 4 inches. So I come here and I use 2.5. Now for my shoulder, I should not exceed 6.5. For the shoulder line, you know, this is my new shoulder line that I've just drafted. I will no longer use this one again. This one is no longer used. So this is my new shoulder point. Remember, we took 3 and we took 8. We took 3 and we took 8, and we came down by 1.5. You remember? So this is our shoulder line now. So on this shoulder line, that's from the neck to the shoulder line, everything I'm going to be using, I should not use more than 6.5. Everything I'm going to be using, I should not use more than 6.5. Now, if I've taken 4 as my neckline. Now taking 4 from this 6 1/2, that means I'm left with 2 1/2. So what I will have here is 2 1/2. 2 1/2. Now let's note we used 4 1/2 as our neckline, and then from this 4 1/2 to this place I'm using 2 1/2. So that's it. I will then join my points to the armhole like so. Can you see? That's our basic bodice. That's it. Very simple. That's our basic bodice. Now for me to determine my depth, I can decide to go, let me say maybe I can do another maybe 4 1/2 or 4, you know, and then I come this way. I can decide to come this way for the neck, and that's it. And that's it. So there's something I also want to explain to you. Remember, part of what we'll be learning introduction to dart manipulation. Now I need you to listen very carefully. Now you can see that my pattern is not flat. See, it's accentuated, it's not flat. My pattern is not flat, it's accentuated. So what do? I need to flatten it so that I can also draft the back bodice. Now in pattern drafting, it allows you to manipulate. Now we are getting this result because we held a dart around here. Now this dart, I can decide to transfer it to my underbust. Remember, this is my underbust. I can decide to transfer it to my neck area. You see some styles where you find pleats at the neck area. I can decide to transfer my darts to the neck area. I can decide to transfer my darts or leave my darts at the shoulder. I can decide to bring my dart to the waist. That's the beauty about pattern drafting. Now see what will happen now. Let me transfer my dart to the underbust. And then I'll also show you if I transfer it to the neck. And then maybe we can also try to transfer, as in to open up the shoulder as well, so you can understand what I am saying more. I hope you're following. I hope the class is interesting. I hope you are not confused. Don't be confused. Don't be confused. I'm sure you will get it over time. Don't be confused. I'm sure you will get it over time. Confused, you will get it over time. So let me cut it out so that I can explain. So I can explain some other things to you. Now here, so I have it here. I can cut this as well. As you can see, I can cut this as well. So here is it. So now if I want to transfer my darts, I want to open up here. This is what I will do. I will just draw a line. Just draw a line. You see what I'm doing to my underbust from the bust points, from the ear to meet the bust points. Sorry. Can you see? See, this tutorial is really detailed. It's really detailed. If you like the fit, can, you know, contact us for more classes. If you like the fit. Can you see my pattern? I've transferred my darts to my underbust. I'm sure you've seen this kind of darts in some ready-to-wear garments. and then you're wondering, oh, how did they achieve it? So that's it. Now I can also decide to transfer this dart to my neck. I can decide to do that. I can just come, draw a line. I can just draw. So this is dart manipulation. This is dart manipulation. We have classes, we have paid classes on dart manipulation. We teach you different ways that you can, do your dart manipulation, come up with fantastic style lines and designs, and you start sewing like a pro. And you can make ready-made outfits. You can combine it with you can even use it to get styles for your owambe and all of that. It allows you to be creative. That manipulation allows you to be creative. So like I said, you can decide to say, okay, let me pick up my dart, maybe the center of the neck, or let me come this way. You see, there is no limit to how creative one can be when you're using your pattern. So that's it. So then I will then close this. By the time I open this, you will see what will happen. Let me use my tape, my paper tape, to hold that. Use my paper tape. So I want to close it again. So to close it, very easy. I'll just put it together again and close it. And then I try to open the other side. So once I close here, so I want to open, so I've closed it. So let me open up the neck. I want to transfer my dart to the neck. Can you see? So my dart has been transferred to the neck. So in the neck area now, you see I can decide to pleat this area, and then that's a different style line. I can decide to close here again and open up the waist side. I can decide to, close here or open up the mid shoulder point. I can decide to close the mid shoulder point and say, okay, I want my dart around here. There is no limit to how creative you can be when you're doing your dart manipulation. So you can see that this class is not 2-in-1. So, but for the purpose of this, we'll just leave you can leave it anywhere. At least I've shown you how you can do it. I've shown you even these little ones, this free class. You can, learn a lot. That if by the time you read on your own, you begin to understand it more and more. There's really nothing complicated about it. One thing about sewing is that you keep practicing and practicing and practicing. That's it. So we're going to do the back. The back also has its own. This is draft our back. So for the back, I turn my paper to the other side. Once I turn it, the first thing, I'll take my zip allowance, which is 1 inch. I take my zip allowance, which is 1 inch. And then I draw the line, pick my pattern master, place it at the center, ensure it's well placed to draw my straight line, and I come like that. That's it. That's my zip allowance. Sorry, camera shook a little, so I'll take my zip allowance. Okay, so that's my zip allowance. And then remember, on the shoulder, I'm sorry, I said on the shoulder, on the bust point, we used 12, and then I said we are going to be putting our measurement on the armhole. Remember, this is armhole. This is armhole. this is the under bust, sorry, bust. I wonder why I'm always calling you under bust. Bust, the under bust, and the waist. I hope we're following. You can see, very simple approach to drafting our bodice. So I'm going to put my measurement on the armhole, remember? So 12. We use 12, so we're going to put 12. On the waist, we used 11 and a half. I'm sure we remember. We used 11 and a half on the waist. And then I said we'll flip this upside down, and then we're using this piece. So I'm going to use it to join the lines, like so. Can you see? Yeah, so for the upper part, I'm going to come this way. I'll do my 3 8s, 3 and 8s. Can you see what I'm doing? On the 8th point, I'll do my 1 and a half and join the line. Join the line. So once I join the line, yes, there's another thing that you need to understand now that I need to explain to you. Remember when we're doing drafting the front, we used 4 inches as our wideness, the wideness of our neck line. Now when we're doing the back, we had ½ inch. So because I used 4 there, I'm going to be using 4 and a half here. So I'll just put my 4 and a half. Remember, from here to here is 3, and then I'll just add 1 and a half to make it 4 and a half. So here is my 4 and a half. I used 4 in the front, so I'm adding 0.5 inches to the back, making 4 and a half. But on the shoulder line, I used 2 and a half, so I'm going to still use my 2 and a half. I used 2 and a half for the front shoulder line, or that's the shoulder joining. I used 2 and a half, so I'm going to still use 2 and a half for the back, because by the time I put them together, the two of them should be equal. But for the neck, I used 4, but the back I'm adding ½ inch. So that means at the end of the day, I'm using 4 and a half for my neck. Can you see? And then here I'm using 2 and a half. So this is the point. I'm going to join it to my armhole point. I'm going to join it like this. Can you see? So for the neck, it depends. You can decide to, depends on what you want. If you want to do a V-neck, you know, that depends on you. You can decide to do maybe just do 3. So just come like that. You can use your curve to do that. So that's our basic bodice. Okay, we've not done the that. So here, so to get my back dart, there's a method I usually use. Our calculated waist on this line, we used 11 and a half. Can you remember? 11 and a half. Can you see? 11 and a half. So we're going to say 11 and a half minus 1, and then we'll divide by 2. So 11 and a half minus 1, we get what? 10 and a half. So 10 and a half divided by 2, we have 4 and we have 5 and quarter. So we're going to put 5 and quarter here. So that's my 5 and quarter point. So on that point, I make, that's ½ inch on the left, ½ inch on the right. That's on the 5 quarter. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I just calculated it where my dart will sit. You know, the reason for this is because I want my dart to be at the center of my back. If I use, just, you see, what we are drafting, I would like some of you that just try it, and I would like to see your results. ½ inch to the left, ½ inch to the right, and then join it to the bust. I'll be sorry, yes. Let me rule my straight line first. Let me rule my straight line first. My straight line first. So that's it. And then I connect it to the bust. I connect it to the bust. So that's it. Can you see? Can you see? I'd like to have your question. I'd like to see your comments. There's another thing that we'll be doing. One last thing that we'll be doing. So I'm trying to cut it out. Or even without cutting it out. So there's another thing I want to explain to us. Now we have our back pattern, we have our front pattern. So there's another thing I do shoulder transfer. So shoulder transfer allows the armhole to be exactly at the shoulder joint, to allow the shoulder joint to be exactly on the shoulder. Just see what I'm trying to explain. You'll find out that, okay, so I'm going to place this exactly on this, so you can see that I still have that means my measurement is correct. You remember we used 2.5 and we used 2.5 for the front, 2.5 for the back for the shoulder joining. So I do something like this. I can hold it down with my tape, my paper tape, so that it doesn't shift. I can hold it down with my paper tape so it doesn't shift. So I do something like this. Just watch. I know this method is really new to a lot of you. So now the next thing we're going to do, you can see that my armhole, I faced it in a way that my armhole, I want it to connect with this armhole. So I want to measure round. By the time I measure round, I want to get the midpoint. Because I want the joining to be exactly on the shoulder. I hope you are following me. I want the joint to be exactly on the shoulder. So that's why I'm going to measure round and then get the midpoint and withdraw my shoulder joining. So that's the shoulder transfer. So we're going to come this way. We're going to measure it. I hope you can see what I'm doing. So I'll just come like that. I want to check what I have here. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Let's see what I'm doing. So I want to get the full length of the armhole. So I have 24 and 2 inches. I'll do it again. I want to be sure. So I need to do it a second time to be sure. Just make sure it captures round and ensure that your tape stays flat while you're doing this, so it doesn't add to your measurement. So I still have my 24. So the midpoint is 12. For 24, my midpoint is 12. So I'm going to mark out my 12. So here is my 12. I hope you can see what I'm doing. So here is my 12. Now, so what do? I will measure what I have here. I have 3/4. So the same 3/4, I'll come here and mark it on this line. The same 3/4, and mark it on this line. Can you see? You can see the bodice is really detailed. And I can bet you it's going to give you the perfect fit that even you yourself will be surprised. Like I said, there's a size chart. I might just have to show you the size chart. Can you see? So this is going to be the new shoulder joining. You can see now it's like we are adding to the shoulder of the front pattern. I hope you're following. I hope you're getting it. Don't worry, by the time you watch this video, maybe a second time, you get it. So now there's another thing called truing. So I want to true my line. I'll just come this way and true it. Can you see? Can you see what I'm doing? So I'll just screw it. I'll just screw it this way. I come here as well. I screw it. I just screw it. It's just a little, so that it can blend with the rest of the pattern. So that's it. Then I'm going to cut it out, and we are done. And we are done. So thank you for watching. I'd like to see our comments in the comment section. I know it's really detailed, but once you practice and you practice and practice, you get it. The secret to this thing is constant practice, nothing more. That's the secret. That's the secret. So I'm going to cut it at this point. I'm going to cut it. Can you see? I'm going to cut out this. So remember this string here, because the two of them must be equal. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Two of them must be equal. Can you see? So I'm going to recut this. I'm going to cut this side. It's here as well. Okay. Let me just cut here as well. Can you see? That's the train. I just cut this one. Here. Wow. So that's it. That's our front bodice and our back bodice. Okay, so I missed out the back shaping. So for the back shaping, I'll come down by 1 inch. I'll come down by 1 inch. Can you see what I'm doing? And then I'll draw a line, just a line, not just draw a line. So this is for the back shaping. This is to eliminate any kind of puff. And then I will then mark 3/4 at this edge. I'll come to this edge and I'll mark 3/4. Here's my 3/4 point. So from this 3/4 point, I will join it to the armhole. I'll join it to the armhole. Just watch. Join it to the armhole. This is the armhole, and this is the point. So I'll just join it this way. So I'm going to cut it, and that's my back leg. I'll still cut it like this. I'll still cut it on the line. Still cut it. So I'll just still cut it that way. And then the shape, don't for me to get my accurate back shape, so I'll come this way. Can you see what I'm doing? Come this way and then. So I hope you got that. So that's for the back shaping. And when I'm taking my zip, I'll still come by 1 inch all the way down. I'm still going to use my 1 inch all the way down when I'm taking my zip allowance. So this is just to eliminate the puff at the back. So that's it. You can see the back shaping and then the front bodice.